a film company called Indicator released one of my favourite films of all time. It's a film called Murphy's War, and it stars Peter O'Toole, his then wife at the time, Sean Phillips, the Philip Noe, and Horst Janssen. Now, Murphy's War is a film from 1971, and it was directed by Peter Yates, who's made other films such as Bullet and one or two others which I can't think of at the top of my head. But yeah, Murphy's War is a film about World War II. The Germans are just about to surrender. It's a couple of days before the fall of German forces, and it's about a survivor from a battleship that's been sunk by a German U-boat. He's rescued and he's took to a local mission and he's nursed back to health, but he feels guilt because he's witnessed his crew being massacred in the water by the German soldiers from the U-boat, and he's also guilt-ridden because he kind of swam away to save his own neck and he left them to die. Well, anyway, the film follows Murphy and his increased obsession with trying to get revenge on the German submarine and its commander. And throughout the film, he meets up with another survivor from the ship, and he managed to ditch a plane. So Murphy decides to fix the plane up and to try and bomb the German U-boat. But in order not to spoil the film, things happen and things don't always go to plan. And throughout the film, Murphy becomes more and more obsessed with trying to accomplish his mission of revenge, to the point where he becomes almost mad. But anyway, at the end, he's sort of hell-bent on revenge, and it's basically just the story of how he's coping with surviving and how he's going to extract revenge on the German U-boat. This release, which I have here, the Blu Ray release, is by Indicator Powerhouse, and it's a breath of fresh air because the last time I owned this was on DVD. It was a UK release and it was shockingly bad. The picture quality was terrible, the sound was awful, and it wasn't in the proper widescreen. It was a very shoddy release, and I bought it, but I was bitterly disappointed because this was one of my favourite films from being a child. And back in the day, in the 80s, when you used to record films off the TV onto VHS, and I've long lost the VHS copy which I had, so when I bought the DVD I was hoping it would be a good quality release, but unfortunately it wasn't. So for years I was trying to find a Region 1 release. I bought a multi-region DVD player, but I never got around to getting it. But out of the blue, this release turns up. And now these are a good company, Powerhouse Indicator. They release lots of classic cult movies on Blu-ray, and they include a wealth of special features. There's far too many to go through, but it's the usual. It's documentaries, interviews, audio commentaries, trailers, photo galleries, everything. Loads of stuff that you get on this. And I've watched the film now, and the picture quality is fantastic. It's in its proper widescreen. The picture is high definition. You do see little bits of limitation, bits of grain and that, but it can only be expected because the film's from 1971. But this is far better than the previous DVD release, at least the UK release anyway. But this is well worth getting. If you haven't seen Murphy's War, it's a great revenge film. Few criticisms it gets is there's a flying sequence in the middle which some people say goes on too long, but I kind of disagree because I can understand what they were going for, because Murphy can't fly a plane, and he gets in, he's, you know, he practices a bit, and you know, and he gets more and more frustrated because he can't get the plane to take off, and I think it drags out a bit, but I think it's very well shot, and it's necessary, because you can't just have him getting in a plane if he doesn't know how to fly, and then all of a sudden he knows how to fly. So I get the length of it, but it's well shot. The aerial photography is brilliant, and I think it doesn't. I don't think it drags personally, but that's one of the criticisms the film gets, that particular scene. But this is a limited edition Blu-ray release. It's limited to 3,000 copies in the UK. It says specifically for the UK, so this mustn't have been released in the United States or anywhere else. But with it being the limited edition, that means it's basically, you just get a booklet in the limited edition. It will be released again, it'll be repressed, but you won't get the booklet. But the booklet is worth having, because it's a pretty thick booklet. It's got plenty of essays and stuff in it. I won't go through the whole lot, but you know, it's got lots of information, photos, rare photos and stuff. But like I say, Murphy's War, if you like cult films from the 70s and you haven't seen it, then I fully recommend it. It's a great film. It's one of my all-time favourites. Peter O'Toole's great in the film. You can tell, like, he becomes more and more obsessed with trying to get revenge, and the acting's superb from Peter O'Toole, and his sidekick is a French bloke, and the bond between them is really strong. But then, because Murphy becomes more and more obsessed, you know, things start going a bit awry between them. And it's a fantastic film. It's got a great end. The music is by John Barry, who does the James Bond films, and he also does other films. He did the Persuaders theme tune and everything. But the music isn't used all that much in the film, to be honest. I mean, it does come into the film, but not as much as what you would think, especially from John Barry. But some of the scenes, I think, you know, some people say they would have worked a bit more better with John Barry's music, but no, I think they work well enough without it, especially the flying sequence, because it's, in my opinion, it's brilliant. But the whole film is fantastic. It's got a great story, great acting, great cinematography, and yep. So Murphy's War, I thoroughly recommend it if you haven't seen it. Or if you have seen it and you, like me, you've been trying ages to find a decent copy, then a decent transfer, then this is the one to get. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if I do any more film reviews, as this is my very first one, which probably shows, then I'll see you again. Thank you for watching. Bye.